Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hey Boo.
Hello, hello, hello.
I'm Jackie, and that's Emmy. Hey, Emmy.
Hey, how you doing today, Jackie?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How was your week?
Long,
Yeah, that's
long, and it was Howard's fault. I got pulled over by the popos.
oh
I just had to throw that out there. Hi, Joanne.
hi.
Welcome, everyone. So, how's your week been?
It's been okay. It's gonna be a longer week. I changed my off days to from Thursday to Friday, so it's gonna be a longer week for me.
Oh man.
But it's good. 3 day weekend. I can have a 3 day weekend. I can say I ain't going
Oh,
to work
right
on
on.
Saturday.
You can't go wrong with the 3-day weekend.
Nope,
Can't go
nope.
wrong with that. Nice. So
Hi,
that means you just got to
Gabrielle.
put up with Howard's shit longer.
Yeah.
All
Well,
in one dose.
except except for 3 days, it'd be like 4 days straight.
Oh man.
And then off and then work and then off and 4 days again. So
Okay,
that's
I get
cool.
it. I get it.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So we were supposed to I think we're waiting on Chrissy if she comes on. But I mean, okay, let me ask you this question to you, Emmy. Do you have a bucket list where you want to go do an investigation at?
Several
Do you have
places.
what's your most I mean, what's the place you want to go to?
Well, the top would be there in the UK. Like Scotland and
What's up my
all that
face?
area. Did he just fart on that? No.
No, he's showing me his drawers.
What? I'm on Hey Boo. Yeah.
Hi, Anthony.
Um. Hi, Anthony. No, I would like to do like over across the pond. Like the UK area, Scotland, Ireland. That would be probably my number one area. Hey, James. And then probably well, there's a couple places in the States, The Conjuring. Bobby Mackey's is one of them. You know, um I would say those would be the top 3 areas.
I know. I did my first one, and that was Murder's Plantation. I wouldn't know where I want to go next.
So look at that. Anthony's all up in his dolls.
I know they're gorgeous. I saw them.
Now, his second or his fourth doll,
Kevin.
I have to look at that one a little bit more. I'm not sure if I'm really getting something from that one, but they're not puppets. So, but the one we determined one of them's name was Brooke. Um, she told us that herself, and then the other one,
Steven.
hi Steven. Then the other one, the third one after that, I like that one, but that one felt more mischievous, and so yeah, I can't wait to
I
communicate
know
with.
they look awesome. They did have a. You're right. That last one did have a feeling about it.
Yeah,
Like
so
looking at her face.
but they could be shy spirits. Get shy. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't be. You know,
I
um,
want one. I want a porcelain doll.
so I'll have to since I got Howard the Ouija board, I gotta get you the doll.
Yeah.
Fair's fair because you
Send
know
me
what? He
one.
doesn't like the dolls. You like the dolls. You don't like the Ouija board. He got the. I'll hook you up. I'll
Okay,
hook
hook
you
me
up,
up.
sister. I will. Because I got several. I'm in love with the little one. Is that the last one you got? Yeah, I haven't really paid too much attention to that. Like I've been on a call all day today and stuff. So, but yeah, that third one, definitely felt something with that one.
I mean, the fourth one, you said.
No, not the fourth one. The third one. The fourth one, I haven't felt much with that one. But like I said, they're not puppets. It could be shy.
You said the
I
dark
guess I'm gonna
haired
have to look at
one.
his. Fuck. Excuse. Sorry.
That's okay.
Uh, My bad. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's go back and look.
Sorry, little one. is all I can offer.
Where are you at on here, Anthony? Anthony.
So we get you interested in collecting dolls, Anthony.
He's reliving his feminine side.
Oh,
Here's a little girl. Sorry, Lulu's all I can afford. You didn't send me a picture of the other one. I have to go back and look at it on your Facebook. Let's pull it up.
oh, here's Chrissy. She's at Pinhurst, so we're gonna see what's up at Pinhurst. Hey, Chrissy.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, but it took a minute. Look who's with me. You got Matt, you got Scotty, you got Jason,
Hey, Jason.
Tess, Bart,
I thought he was
Polly. Well, we're live on Hey Boo.
Hi.
Kenzie.
Hey.
So we're just kind of waiting for them to give us the rules and rundown and the history and what we can and can't do. This place is massive.
I was going to say, how does it feel right now? Just
There's a lot of energy here.
Did everybody here do a waiver?
Hey, hold tight.
Yes. Okay. So you didn't do waivers? Here, I can take that.
Follow them. Go sign your life away.
No, you cannot take your cigarette in.
Sign your life away, Lisa.
Listen, so I don't know if you can see all this, but this place, ladies,
Get video of that.
the buildings go on and on. Here, let me turn it.
wow.
Wow.
Like its own little city, huh? Or little town.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a
When
school,
I get,
correct? A college?
it was an asylum.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, I'm kind of, and I know I can't zoom in when I got the camera
Right.
flip, but so can you see? I mean,
All the
every building around us.
That was big for a sound.
Wow.
Wow.
It's massive. It's massive.
See that?
So I believe that over half the people that resided here died here. This was a place in which, if you had, let's say, autism or mild mental retardation or anxiety or anything out of the norm, they would bring you here, drop you off, and never come back to get you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of sad. But yeah, I know they said that over half the people that resided here died here. They lived and died here. Listen, I cannot with this man.
Gabriel said, "Are you in Logan's Park?"
Gabe, get your whole stuff together. I am in Pennsylvania at Penhurst.
So how long do you guys get it for most of the night or
We get it all night. Hang on, I got to go over here. She's hollering at us. Hold tight, ladies.
You're gonna have to go louder.
that's another one of my places that's on my bucket list too. I can't even imagine.
Oh.
Gotta listen to rules.
Yeah. Hey James, welcome James over on YouTube side. Welcome everybody. Hey Steven.
I know it's almost everybody's first time, and this is like a big bucket list thing, so I'm so excited for you all today. First off, I have a couple of housekeeping rules, safety stuff that I have to tell you so that nobody dies or gets kicked out. We don't want any bad nights for any of us, and I certainly don't need any more spirits. Please no summon anything. But, no living boxes, no open flames, no Ouija boards. Please don't bring anything in here. We have enough, and once we get into the history, you'll realize why we don't want any more introduced into here. No weapons on property. Please stow them in your car, in the bushes. I don't care. But inevitably, I'm going to jump scare you in the dead of basement at 3 a.m. and you're going to shoot me. So please put it in your car. No. I will jump scare people. Jump scare. I know, because I'm going to die. That's why you're doing it. But once you get a second, stow that in your car. I respect
Gotta
it.
do an
It's
animal
not on
check.
the site.
Cavity check.
No drugs or alcohol. Cigarettes are fine, vaping's fine. We ask that you do it outside the buildings and away from people who have asthma. Otherwise, if you're already drunk or high, please, I'm begging you, go take a nap in your car. On a very real note, were drunk or high to the point we were stumbling, I have to pick you up. So please manage yourself. Take a nap if you need to. We got all night to investigate. When you guys are walking around, you'll notice it's a quite a dirty space. We have a lot of rust, broken glass, things that will hurt you if you're not looking at where you're putting your hands or sitting. So keep an eye out, keep your lights down so you're not blinding other people. If you guys are interested, we actually have a paranormal convention coming up. It's May 19th through the 21st. It's called Paracon. We have an exclusive deal that's going on tonight. So it's you get a VIP ticket for the price of general admission. It's $50 off. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know. I'll handle it inside. While you guys are going through our spaces, you'll see that there's artifacts and old objects and stuff that are in the spaces. And we try to keep them there so you guys can see what that space was used for and the historical context of that space. However, it's one of a kind. They're artifacts. Please don't hurt them. If it's anything more than gently putting a K2 on it, don't, because I'm passionate about it. You guys will realize you got stuck with the 2 historians on site. So we're anal about it. It's bad. Another thing, I have an open door policy. This is the most important thing to keep in mind while we're going through today. You'll notice I'm one person. I'm trying to block off our doorways, our areas that have oil spills, that have messes in them that we haven't gotten to clean yet. It's primarily volunteer based here that we clean out these buildings. And so we haven't gotten to areas yet, the void areas, the boiler rooms, things like that. Everything cool is open. So if you see an open or partially open door, feel free, fair game. However, if it's got a barricade, a trash can, a rope, if you have to physically parkour to get the square, bad idea. Tonight we have access to this building behind me, the Mayflower building. It's 4 floors. We also have access to the Devon building, the largest residential building on campus. We'll go over and tour that. I'll show you guys how to navigate it. It's so large that you have to be at a certain spot and then scream if you're lost, because I can't hear you on one side of the building to the other.
We brought whistles.
Oh, wonderful.
We gave everybody whistles.
I'm going to be a skinwalker kind of tonight. I'm going to be like, hey, what's that? We also have access to the 1,200-foot long Rockwell tunnel. I know a lot of you guys are interested in that challenge, so let me know.
Wait, what are we doing?
So we have a 1,200-foot long tunnel. It's all blacked out, connects multiple lower campus buildings. Super, super old buildings as well. Most are 1908, 1909. And our challenge is we lock you in there for 10 minutes. Not locked, so you don't die.
You said 10? Can I do like 20?
It might be bad.
Hey, you can do 20.
Yeah, brother.
I'm not doing it.
It's okay.
Help me out.
Ellie does that, but she said bats. Access to the infirmary today. The infirmary is part of the hospital complex. It's the only part of the hospital that will ever be opened. It is currently slated for demolition, and so if you enjoy it, please leave a review saying you paid more for it, because that's what they want to hear. And so they're trying to keep buildings. So as you guys can see, we're doing some repairs and stuff on the roof, and so a lot of this campus, our plan is to keep it staying. But you know, I'm annoying and I want everything I can possibly get. So please do. If you enjoy that infirmary trip, review it. One thing with the infirmary trip is that it is a very far walk. Our campus is very expensive, and it is a hike to get there. It's also uphill, and so I will encourage you guys to drive up there. One of us will take you up there. We'll drive as well. Take you out there. Unlock.
We definitely drive
You
it.
guys stay up there while you're up there. Lock it and then come back down. Because it is so far away, we can't leave it unlocked or unattended, because
So
if
I
it cuts
want
through the field,
to-
trespassers it's like open season. So,
Back to
and we
me.
do get a lot of trespassers. That's something unfortunately they've caused a lot of like security issues, particularly the past like 2 weeks. So we're kind of anal about the roaming rules as well right now. Please obey all the barricades, stay on catwalks. Past dark, I ask that you guys don't roam past our areas that we're going to, and you go directly from there to your car, whatever you guys need to do. If you guys want to go check out some place like after dark, let us know. We could take you there because they could see us and be like, okay, that's cool. But otherwise, our security team has very much so been on the rule of like, oh, I see people on the cameras, all the police. And so if that happens at any point, you know, that's what I'm trying to avoid. If you have any question about where you're allowed to go or anything, just ask. We'll tell you. We'll take you there if it's an area that we're nervous about. And I apologize in advance if our security gets to you first, because they've been hurt too many times. In this building behind me, we're only using one stairwell in here. It's the stairwell that's right behind me. It's nice, lit up, stable. The other ones are where animals go to die. So you can peek in, I guess, but they don't smell good. In Devon, it's the same situation. It's the only one that's lit up. Please, oh wait, I actually don't have to say that. It's not a public investigation. Oh, thank God. Don't attempt to use any of the bathrooms inside. They don't work. I wish I didn't have to say that. We also discourage PDA, please. I wish I didn't have to say that. I know the lead paint is very appealing, but stop.
Oh.
I was gonna say, where's Scotty?
All these match by color,
Be
bro.
respectful to our employees here, but more than anything, and something that we're super, super passionate here on site about is be respectful to our ghosts. A common misconception is that this place was an asylum and it wasn't used for psychiatric purposes at all. We opened as the Eastern Pennsylvania State Institution for the Feeble-Minded and Epileptic. Feeble-mindedness, meaning neurodivergence or any sort of intellectual disability, developmental delay, people that have autism and Down syndrome. People with psychiatric illnesses like schizophrenia or bipolar or criminal intent will go to Norristown State Hospital, which is our local psychiatric facility. It's still open today. Or Byberry, which was in Greater Philadelphia. But here we're dealing with individuals with physical disabilities, intellectual disabilities, and so the way that we communicate with them is a little different. Also, keep in mind that this place was the horrific place of suffering for thousands and thousands of us. I have lived experience with disability. I also have 2 kids with autism, and so it hits very, very close when we're talking to my kids who would have been here, who likely would have been killed here. This place was built on isolation, segregation, trauma, the eventual hope of killing us, of getting rid of the disabled population. And so the people we're talking to tonight are not criminal. They've been silenced, neglected, abused. And so tonight we need to be kind to them. That's the best thing that works, is to come in, not ask about the trauma specifically, but hey, what's your name? What's your favorite color? What do you like to talk about? Because consistently they're asked about their trauma all the time. And I think they run away from it anymore. Yeah, exactly. I always ask people, like, how would you feel if I came into your house and was like, tell me about that time you got assaulted? Like, that's horrific. Terrible. But the best thing to go about tonight with my experience paranormal investigating here is keep in mind accessibility. Some of us are deaf, some of us are blind, and so you may need to set off equipment first for somebody to be able to use it, to be able to hear it first, or see it first. Just keep in mind those kind of limitations. A lot of us are also nonverbal. And so every growl or grunt you hear might not necessarily be a demon. It may be somebody trying to communicate with you. And so don't run away. They're usually very, very nice, very kind here. And they are very respectful of boundaries as well. If you ask them to stay here, they'll stay here. But before the sun sets, I want to take you guys on a little site tour so you guys can see everything while it's daytime. And then I'll take you guys in the buildings and everything. I'm going to let Kaden cover the majority of the history because he's brilliant at it. But I'll show you how to navigate all the buildings, our areas tonight, and then we'll launch off. Sound good?
Yeah. All right, once you guys all follow me down these steps.
Going down wasn't the problem, it was coming up again.
Watch the steps as you're making your way down.
Oh, careful.
Got trouble.
We're going on a walkabout.
Still.
Talking to the screen. Yeah, we're still live. Y'all are still there, ain't you? I hope so. It says
Yes.
live.
Still here.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I had to be respectful.
I know.
No, this is actually cool. Thank you for sharing this with us.
The buildings go clear back there too.
So everyone who's coming in, if you didn't catch, Chrissy is at Penhurst with Matt.
Bat
McKenzie,
Paranormal and
uh,
Matt Kinsey, Matt McKenzie, Jason,
Scott.
Scotty. There's a lot of us here. Aiden.
Yes. Yes, there is.
I don't think remember they got the geriatric.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it back over to him and let him tell us the history.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I hope we're all excited for tonight.
We are. We're
I mean,
stoked.
so everybody show hands. This is our first time at Pinners tonight.
Woo, everybody.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm so excited for you guys. And especially for my 2 friends having their first investigation. So I think you're gonna have an awesome time tonight as well, my friend. I mean, what a place to start it. But for everybody else here that has done an investigation before, I'm pretty sure you guys, you've been around town, you've seen a thing or two. What I can say is here at Penhurst, the type of evidence that we get here and the energy, the aura of this place, it's unlike any other type of facility you've been to before. And what I'm going to be doing here for the next 45 minutes to an hour is explaining to you guys why that is. And what really comes down to it most, in my opinion, is the people here. The people who lived here and the things that happened to the people that lived here really creates our unique history. And what I find that compared to any other type of investigative, spot in the country, the type of evidence you will receive here tonight is some of the most wholesome, heartwarming type of evidence you'll ever receive as an investigator. And I think for that, guys, it's really awesome compared to any other spots. But what I want to talk about first here is, why we're standing here and, kind of what we're going to be expecting tonight. And first things first, just as a heads up, sensitivity warning. We're going to be going over a lot of sensitive topics on this tour. We're going to be talking about eugenics. We're going to be talking about the suffering of disabled people for over 70 to 80 years in this institution. So I want to, kind of give you guys a heads up warning for that. And also, any questions you guys have about this space, you can ask Autumn and I. Like, we love your enthusiasm about the history. There's really no bad questions, as long as we, keep it to the parameters of respect of the people who lived here. And I feel like by the end of this tour, we'll all get a really good idea of what that means. But what I can say is our bar, it's starting pretty low. We've been asked all sorts of like weird, strange questions. I mean, geez, I remember one tour, somebody asked us if where were the babies were boiled. That's literally, we're starting here. You guys are only going up, so.
We said they were fried.
I know. I said air fried. That's
there we
the
go. There
response.
we go.
That's
There we
exactly. Thank you, Autumn.
Yeah.
So now the real reason why we're here starting the tour, unlike any other location, is so you guys know where to go for tonight. Because I want you guys to remember that ramp right there.
Okay.
So you'll see this over here off to the side.
Uh-huh.
That is going to be your main point of access for tonight.
Okay.
This is going to take you to any location you're going to be investigating. So that can take you to here to Mayflower. And then if you make a left, it takes you to the tunnels. And if you make a right, it'll take you right over there to Devon. So you see that big giant building in the distance? That's the Devon building. So those are the three locations that you guys have here on this campus. And like Autumn was saying earlier, if you guys need to go to the infirmary, let us know so we can all drive up as a group and go up there. Now, in terms of history, the reason why I like to start here is because this is like the birthplace of the institution. Some of the buildings we're standing around right now were one of the first buildings put up here at Penner's. For example, the Philadelphia building right behind you guys, that was the original administration hall before the place started to make its second one right over to the corner with the big cupola on top. But, before we go into buildings and, logistics of the institution, I feel like we got to get a good understanding of this place first. Autumn went over real briefly that this place was not psychiatric. This was a state school and hospital for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and people still kind of get confused on what our crowd is, the people we're trying to talk to here. And whenever this institution first opened, the intention was to get ages, young boys from the ages of 5 to 15. That was kind of what the first, population group we were intending for. But then eugenics starts to become this widespread phenomenon within the disability community. And then we start to allow women, and we start to allow adults here at the institution. A lot of people think that this was only children only. In fact, a great portion of our population were adults here. And I wanted just to keep that in mind for you guys. And a lot of the buildings that you'll be investigating were also kid works and also adult works. And the population changed over and over throughout the history. Oh, sorry about that. But I want to give you guys just a heads up on that. And sorry about that. Getting distracted.
You're too quick for me.
But with that out of the way, the next thing I really want to talk about is like the differences, because with asylums, a lot of people, they got to leave psychiatric institutions. The goal of an asylum is to get on the right medication, to get the right amount of rehab and therapy, and then go back out into society. They're patients. They can also refuse the service as well, unless they were forcibly admitted into a psychiatric institute. But here at Penhurst, at these institutions, it was almost compared to a death sentence. As Autumn said, these places were almost designed to kill disabled people. because they weren't going to go back out into society. In fact, society was afraid of them. You know, if I had to say why this place was built, it was built on the idea of fear and ignorance and the lack of empathy, because we saw people that were different than quote unquote us, people that learned differently, people that saw the world differently, people that looked differently. I mean, that feeble-mindedness term even applied to people that were just socially inadequate. People that, even in instances, people who had a cleft lip, who couldn't even really speak, were considered feeble-minded individuals, or even people that were considered too ugly. Kind of goes into the ugly laws of our history. Back, we all laugh about.
You won't be.
No, Scotty.
We all joke and laugh about this, but like, it's important to understand that at one point in society, we thought this was okay. You know, ugly laws were a real thing all the way back in California in around the late 1800s. You could have been sent to an almshouse, asylum, or a prison if you were quote unquote too ugly. And this was mainly applied towards people with developmental disabilities or people that were homeless. This happened to them. And then around this time, there was the need to create a place for these individuals with disabilities. And Penner's was kind of going to be the first of the big, giant institutions of its kind. And, you know, this whole place was entirely self-sufficient, its own power plant, hospital facilities, school facilities. But what we need to really understand, the important thing is that it was also meant to keep them away from the community, because all the people living in the Philadelphia area,
When you
of
got
this
sent
state,
here, it was
yeah.
a life sentence. It was giving you life, basically.
Essentially, you know, and the interesting thing is that the terms to describe the people that live here at Penner's was not patients. It was actually called inmates. And it makes total sense, because inmates will serve until their time is done. But here, their time served with a life sentence.
That's sad.
It's terrible. And
So, in other words,
Yeah.
sorry, Chris.
Yeah, no,
but
like, I love your
like
question.
nowadays, you know, with like ADHD and things and autism, things like that. Back then, that would have maybe been something that would have brought.
it would have just been brought into this big term of feeble-mindedness. Now it's case by case on the
Right.
individual with ADD or ADHD.
Right.
So let me ask you this:
What's
was this a state initiated, ran type program, or was this like a man, a doctor that came in that had
This
some
was,
kind
what Adam just said. This was a whole state-run facility. The state was responsible for taking care of these individuals, housing them, and so on and so forth. And I feel like before we keep moving on, we really got to understand this idea of eugenics. And show of hands, have any of us heard of this before? Eugenics? Yeah, have any of us? So about 5 or 6 hands, and that's okay if we don't know what it is, but it's crucial to understanding why the people here suffered in the way they did. So I will say this: you guys have heard of a form of eugenics, and that's the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody here,
Yeah.
we've all heard of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
That is eugenics in its prime form. But if we take a broader look at eugenics and disability, eugenics looks at bloodlines. It looks at the genetics of human beings and
Wipe out
taking
the
the ones that they like the most, keeping them in the gene pool, and the ones they are seen as unfavorable, remove them out. And what was unfavorable
Like weed
was
out the.
exactly. And here in our American institutions, we targeted disabled people, people with mental illness, you know, especially with racism, people that weren't white. They made their way into eugenics because they saw them as undesirable. They weren't as superior as white genetics.
Yeah.
And it's because we couldn't legalize sterilizations here in the state, or, you know, murder of disabled people, we just decided to institutionalize. And then through eugenics, separating them so they didn't have children, the end goal being we can fix disability and there will be no more disabled people in the population. But as we've known today, we can't fix disability.
Can I-
Yeah, what's up?
So, like, you know, you're talking about that. What about females? Because I know a lot of, like, you know, hospitals back in the day would put females in there just for having a period because that was off.
So
Or-
yeah, that
or
would have
the-
been
or
a
the
lot of
husband or somebody
psychiatric. Like that would have made it to mostly psychiatric. It's like you ever heard the term hysteria?
Yeah.
So that was actually first applied to women, but women being overly emotional. But that was actually a psychiatric condition, and it's
That was more like an evolution.
and like and but what's up? Yeah.
So, you mentioned sterilization, and something I would like to comment on. It was legal in the state. In fact, actually, it did not happen here. I've never found the record for it. However, I do know
the spoken history of an individual that lived here who said that she was sterilized here. And are we surprised that they didn't take records? You know, but I do have confirmed sterilizations in the state. In fact, actually, Elwyn, which is an institution today, it's still running today, was the head point of sterilization in the state, and they conducted 270 sterilizations, forced sterilizations on disabled folk throughout the 1900s. In their history tab on their website, it doesn't say anything about it, nor were they founded by eugenicists.
Merely because they didn't fit the mold.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially.
Exactly.
But they're not
Wow.
gonna say that they're the ones that did bad to the people.
No.
Come out and admit that.
That's
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna take us up to our next stop, but the last thing I want to like make a conversation note on. You know, we talk about this history to kind of give you guys an edge up on your investigation tonight, but what I really want us to really hone in is that, you know, we think that these places are so far from us that a lot of these abandoned asylums and also institute state schools and hospitals are no longer existent, but that's far from the truth. In fact, there is over 5 institutions here in the state of Pennsylvania that are still in operation that were designed to be state schools and hospitals to house individuals with disability. In fact, 13 states here in the U.S. have legalized institutions. And kind of our end goal being is that we spread awareness to this so we never repeat this ever again. Because disabled folks should be living in the community. They should be living with their families, not in an institution. But let's continue our walk.
Are we okay on time, guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys want to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera.
Y'all being escorted by the PP.
He can't behave.
I ain't gonna say it on Hey Boo.
Family friendly show, baby.
I know that's why I ain't say it. I thought I just said the PP.
Yeah, actually, Mackenzie made that note of it. Like, you guys see right here?
Okay. Maybe we can go over.
Yeah, we have access to 3
Maybe you need to come on here too.
3 buildings.
Chrissy, Chrissy,
Yes.
this owner is telling you owner, you can run long. You can do it all.
You know who this is.
Hi.
Okay.
And there's Jason.
Okay, Howard, I'm gonna flip the camera.
Oh, you ready?
I think you need to go up the wagon and carry my butt.
I want to know how to motivate to
Damn it!
Well, that would be amazing. That would be
Listen.
So this next stop here, I also just wanted to stop here so you guys can get a better view of where you're supposed to be. So that's Devon. That's your entrance is going to be that door right there off to the side.
Okay.
And if you keep going straight ahead, like if you're going to get to the tunnel, at this point, just follow the lights.
Okay.
Follow the lights all the way down, and then you'll get to the entrance of the tunnel.
Okay.
Cool, they're shiny. I won't get lost.
Yeah. Yep.
The lights are our paths, guys.
Yep.
Yes.
That gives you concept to how far and big this place is.
Chrissy's
Yes.
live as well.
Yeah.
Yep, Chrissy's live.
Hello.
Yeah.
Somebody else is
Well,
live too. Someone else is live.
Scotty was.
So
I think he's
about the buildings that are currently surrounding us now. I briefly talked about the tunnel, and as a fun fact, anywhere you see catwalk is directly underneath you is a tunnel.
Oh
They
wow.
pretty much connect to every single building here on the lower campus. And
Then,
then,
if I may
So-
ask real quick,
Yeah.
what was the purpose of the tunnels?
so
To, like, hide people even more while they
So,
were moving them, or?
what I've noticed is that a lot of hospitals and state schools that were built during the early 1900s had underground tunnel systems inside of them. And a lot of them were used to transport utilities,
Oh.
transport food.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was very common for a non-ambulatory ward like the first floor of Quaker, where people generally, you know, housing 70 to 80 people at a time in there. It's almost impossible for like the staff members to take them all to the lunch building, you know, so I mean the dining building. So what they would do is they would prepare meals, ship them through the tunnels, ship them over through the catwalks.
Oh.
into
So
the
they didn't have to come out into
Exactly.
the elements to
Exactly.
get to the buildings.
Exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, they could also transport people through the tunnels as well. You know, we had therapy in basements. For example, the Mayflower building, the basement section, a lot of it had multiple uses of therapy. So if you're inside of this building, it made more sense to use the
Not
tunnel to
the
get
tunnel.
through. Yeah,
Okay.
it's faster. And the building right behind me, right here, Quaker, I feel like you really can't talk about Pennhurst without mentioning this building. It's really infamous to our history, and I feel like we got to discuss a few things about this building first before we really start talking about the other stories about this building, because a lot of ghost hunters have came here, and a lot of people think of this building as where our quote unquote violent people were at Pennhurst. But we got to take a look at our population and what this environment was like, because here at Pennhurst, especially during our heyday, we had over 4,000 people admitted here to this institution, an average of 100 people living per floor in a residential building. And take a guess, guys, of how many staff members would be responsible taking care of
1 or 2.
people. Actually, right on the money. Right on the money. 1 or 2. Try to, for 1 second, to walk onto a floor and have to be responsible for over 50 human beings.
It's impossible.
It's literally, it's borderline impossible. It's such a heavy task. It's like you can't even get your job done right. And it was even worse for the people living in there, because what did that mean? It means that they weren't getting taken care of.
Neglection.
Exactly, the neglect. And for especially non-ambulatory folks that can't get up and use the bathroom,
That's
what
abuse.
happens? They're sitting in their own
Bed sores.
Bed sores.
Bed sores.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a thing here that was developed called flat back syndrome, because individuals were laying down for so long that they couldn't even bend up and look over their cribs.
Wow.
So, and to imagine to live in that building and your whole existence as a human being was the crib, not being able to leave that crib.
So there were
Sad.
just constantly were like actual cribs with
exactly.
the sides up on it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, our crib wards, we're not talking infants, we're talking adults. Living inside of giant metal cribs, but also depending on the ward, if there was younger children, still them living inside the cribs. But whenever we're talking about our ambulatory folks, whenever we're, like I said, not a lot of people are getting attention. They're not getting taken care of. And one thing that happened here is if you were being violent or if you were doing something that required an aide to stop you immediately, it got the attention on you. It meant that you were going to be taken care of. So we need to look at it from a perspective that this is an environment that's built to make you, quote unquote, a violent person. They're not violent people.
Right.
No.
But what they're trying to do is just essentially just to get taken care of.
Oh,
exactly.
you
Exactly. Whenever I feel like we talk about our spirits, our ghosts that we're trying to talk to, we're not talking to bad people. We're talking to victims.
Right.
Essentially.
Understood people, misunderstood.
Oh,
people.
heavily.
Well, they were
Heavily
abused and neglected, and they weren't being heard, so they're going to express that.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're going to speak out any way they
And
can.
whenever we're looking, at people with neurodivergence, we also need to understand that this institution was also built to disrupt them entirely, because with thousands of people on site 24/7, there's so much noise.
Oh,
it's such an overwhelming, overcrowded environment.
The cry
exactly.
for help and cries for help and
constant overstimulation.
Yeah, too, though.
Yeah.
It's just they're not just in their
So maximum, what was like the absolute highest number of people they had here at any one time?
At one time, so now at one time we had over 4,000 to almost 5,000 registered Pennhurst patients, but during this time we were also doing annexes. We were sending them to other facilities. This was around the 1950s. So, but on record of almost 5,000 residents, around 5,000 residents registered that were then, because of how many people we had here, we had to send them to other facilities.
Yeah. Now, I did read some, speaking of the numbers, I read that over the 79-year history, that this facility had, I believe they said like 10,600.
Yeah, 10,600 registered.
And at least half of them perished.
Exactly.
Okay. Because I wanted to make sure I had my facts right.
And the fascinating things about the people that perished here is that almost most of the people that perished died before the age of 30.
Really?
Yes.
That's sad.
So it wasn't like a geriatric type thing of that.
Well, we
type
did
of
have,
thing.
we also did have geriatric. We had lots of
Okay.
elderly people here, but we also need to understand a lot of people died before the 1950s as well.
Right.
We had Spanish influenza hit Penners. We had
Okay.
tuberculosis hit Penners.
Okay.
But also, one thing that we've noticed over time is that the life expectancy of a disabled person has risen exponentially ever since institutions have closed down. And I think that is a great thing.
Yeah.
That disabled people are living longer, fulfilling lives.
Yeah.
Horrific number, but average life expectancy for an intellectually disabled person in the 1930s was 22. Today it's 7.
Wow.
Yeah, that shows you the comparison there. Yeah. But, you know, and it also gives you an example of the neglect. What was the Penners' priorities here? It wasn't to rehabilitate and to help these individuals grow, is let's just survive the day.
It's basically
Right.
locking
Make
them
sure they're
away.
fed and changed.
Yeah.
You know what I
no,
mean?
I also read a little
Yeah.
part where it said, I believe it was in the 70s, that a local newspaper did an article and actually called this facility
The
the
shame of
embarrassment
the shame of
or the
Pennsylvania.
shame of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it was the Pottstown Mercury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually
okay.
very local. Yeah, the Pottstown Mercury in the 1970s
Okay.
wrote that article about us. And even beforehand, in 1968, a young NBC Philadelphia reporter by the name of Bill Baldini comes here with the camera crew and films a world-changing expose called "Suffer the Little Children."
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm glad that you guys have. Yeah, what's up?
Answer my question after you're done.
Have any of us seen "Suffer the Little Children"?
I watched.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was hard.
Yeah.
It was an eye-opening experience.
It was
Exactly.
hard.
We talk about the stories of Penners, but that is the visualization. And you know, some of the statistics that was shown in this report was even earth-shattering as well. That only 7% of the population was put into rehabilitation. So 93% of the population here are just living aimless lives, not being rehabilitated, not being worked with socially or intellectually. They were just living.
Wow.
And it also in that report, it showed that at the Philadelphia Zoo, they were getting more funding for their daily upkeep of animals than human beings here at Penners. Where at the zoo, it was $7.10. But here at Penners, it was $6.80 for human beings. Exactly.
Wow.
But what was your question?
Did they do any kind of like experiment on the
So
individual?
what
Like, I don't know if you said that and I missed it.
Yeah, so what we've understood here in our institutions, to be a person in here, you didn't have the right to consent for yourself.
Right.
In fact, the Constitution doesn't apply to disabled people till like the 1970s. And because of that, it was common for individuals inside of institutions to be experimented on for vaccine development. In fact, a few hours away in Western PA, the polio vaccine gets developed because they were injecting their own people with polio.
Oh, wow.
Did you have some of that? I saw like you lit up right as soon as I asked. As soon as
I
I
have photos of vaccine testing being done with.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
What's up?
I don't know if you could.
Oh, yeah, we'll take them into
We're gonna take them together.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
just
so, not right now, just so we-
they can see it.
Yeah, let's take you guys inside Devon before it gets dark.
It's really hard to navigate.
Well, I don't have a flashlight.
I got down, but I can't get up.
My flashlight's in the command center. Crap. Jason's gonna try to use his phone when we go in there because it's getting dark, guys.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't have any of the gear with me. It's back in the first building.
I got him.
Okay.
If you have, I was just say, if you have flashlights, you might need them.
They're in the command center.
Oh, you're going into one. Oh, wow.
We had a crazy ending.
Yeah, you'll still need your flashlights, guys.
Hold on.
This is awesome.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Party space in here. There used to be a
Wow.
wall along this line here, across those two pillars there, and that kind of segmented this. This was a day.
Wow.
And then people sometimes lived and lived in these little cubicles up on either side of this. However, the cubicles weren't really original. They were put in the 70s once our lawsuit started coming through, once we started hearing about the conditions here. And so they put up cubicles for privacy later on. However, originally when this building was built, it looked like this, the big open wards. If you want to open the side, we have
That's awesome.
this wing with all of the beds in it. It's taped up there. But I'm going to show you guys the stairwell. It's nice and easy to navigate because it's the only thing with light in it. If you get lost in this building, you got to come to the stairwell and then scream so I can hear you.
Exactly.
Wow.
Michelle, Candyland.
Oh yeah, we'll show you guys Candyland as well.
Everybody wants to see it. You never know where it is. I got you.
Yeah. This right here, this is our main stairwell. That was the project, so you can see this.
I also like to show supplements because they're using this.
Yes.
Metal caging.
Wow. I see that.
You would have been all right though, because they would have them wearing the soft helmets. So even if they fell and hurt themselves, they'd be all right. What?
He's going to become the
In
next
terms of
member.
navigation for tonight, we have them upstairs right here in the stairwell, and then our downstairs. Now, if you're trying to get
Oh,
to
that
the
made me
basement,
snort
which
when
is
I
one of
laughed.
the systems I'm going to show you guys that first, so you don't forget.
The way that the building is laid out is like a big H. This is our center point. There's two wings on either side. They're identical. First and second floor are identical, and both sides are identical. Easy to get lost. That's why we tell you the stairwell thing. But the basement is quite interesting. Has a full-size gymnasium, as well as like the super, super infamously haunted canyon rooms.
Metal cage.
Yes.
Creepy door.
Every single floor. It's very interesting.
More metal cage.
Wow.
Scotty too hotty.
Oh, I always do it before I talk.
Everybody. I hope everybody's good.
Scotty.
I'm proud of you.
That's me.
So, as we wait for our last friends to come down the stairs, what I wanted to point out is whenever you're going to go to Candyland, go down these steps and then you're going to make a left.
So what's Candyland? I'm sorry.
Candyland, yeah, you'll see. You'll see why.
Okay. Go to Candyland.
I like
It was at one point a war. It was named temporarily. All I know why
I
is
think
that
the
it's
further down she goes, you're starting to lose her.
But this side always kind of has a weird vibe to it. Like even Big Jim doesn't like this.
Thanks. I will say, like, as an investigator here, this is the only place I haven't conquered walking by myself in. I just.
That side.
I'm going to that side.
But down this way.
Jesus.
No, it's different. Like, we have people to do it. I could do it right now.
So do I, but I also pee myself, so I'm probably not going to do that.
Oh. Okay. How do I get myself? Wait a minute. Howard? Oh, never mind.
Don't push buttons, Jackie.
Okay. I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. I think we lost her.
Yay!
I think we lost her. It was getting a little it was getting a little where she I guess the further
Yeah.
down she was going, she wasn't getting no
Breaking up.
reception. So I can't see how they're gonna do any kind of live way down there. When she was up top, it was better, but that was interesting.
Right? I thought that was so cool. Like, we're getting a free tour. No, he's not. We're getting a free tour. Oh,
She's coming back.
okay.
Oh, she's trying to come back. There she is.
Around again.
So here we are in Candyland, commonly referenced as a recreation space, but also used for physical therapy and occupational therapy as well down here in the state.
Well,
I would point out this mural, everybody calls the mural here. She's right here. She's in a wheelchair. And I think it's quite funny how the only person that you really can't tell is here is the one that's obviously disabled. Showing the history and showing what a prioritization we were putting on the population that was only looking at this.
like
Wow.
very low key kind of
Yeah,
transgression.
yeah, toward the back, out of the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, out of sight, out of
And
mind.
it's our friends in wheelchairs, but it's down to leg. So it's like, why? Why?
Yeah.
Can't even give them that
Well, It's
sensation.
it's like you're supposed to be saying, hey,
I'm guessing the candy canes and the candy on the wall is what they're talking about.
Yeah, they were talking about that candy right
I
there.
can't bring him
Now,
anywhere.
the next space we want to show you guys from here is actually the tub rooms and how to get in there as well.
It is.
Look at the walls. Jason's my light. Ooh. Sorry, kids, didn't mean to step on your toys.
It'd be the far right square you click on.
I am clicking on it. Only thing it has is edit name, edit settings, mic settings,
No,
kick
oh.
history.
No, it should be the
Really?
squares right under the picture. Right under us.
Right under the picture.
It should be squares between us and the video. No?
Make it on the screen.
Okay.
Oh,
Where's
I
Howard?
see. I did it wrong. He showed me. Now I
There you
understand.
go. And then you bring that up and she freezes.
Oh,
I think we're gonna have some members
There
here.
she is.
back up the stairs.
That's the one that was in my room.
So think of this kind of space as like a locker room before you go into the showers. This would have been a space for aides, staff members, that they would have been getting their guys nude and then ready to go into the tub. And now every single time you're going to be here at Penner's inside of the Devon building, it's set up like where there's wards on each far side of the building. And then in the center, you'll have storage rooms. You'll even still see some of the closets that have sheets marked on it. And then you'll have your tub rooms. And each little tub room will be tucked right inside the big locker room. Right here.
Look at the old heater,
Upstairs.
cast iron.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Ton of water there.
Now, I'm trying to remember the paranormal group that was doing it, but I think it was Destination Fear. They were here in the tub room and they were doing an EVP. And one of the craziest things they got evidence-wise in the EVP is that they heard water running in their EVP as they were listening back from investigating in the tub room. So I would say this is also a space to even try to record your EVPs inside of and listen. But I wanted to show you guys that because it's really significant to our history here. In fact, one thing that I always find that, one thing that we understand about the paranormal is that a lot of haunted spaces become haunted because of trauma.
Mhm.
And there's the environment haunted spaces. And I find that a lot of people, especially from friends who I know personally that lived in hospitals in places like Penhurst, that bathrooms are very traumatic spaces. I mean, to think that we're our most vulnerable whenever we're inside of bathrooms. I mean, whenever we're, even whenever we had our best numbers here, where it was 48 people per ward instead of over 100, there was still 12 people constantly lined outside naked before coming in here.
In front of other people.
In front of other people, not giving them privacy here. And even staff members using large amounts of force to get them into the tubs or get them into the showers. This was a huge spot of suffering for the same folks. So I would say this is also a spot to be very
Because it'd be very intensive, exactly.
Did they have dementia people here too, or would that be like?
Oh, yeah, we had residents with dementia here.
Because I used to be a nurse's aide and I worked in a dementia ward and it sucked
Oh.
to have to like force people to take baths and stuff. But
Yeah,
you could,
exactly.
some of them you couldn't be nice with because they would throw punches and stuff at you.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, it took a whole team to operate this, to get people into the tub spaces or to take a shower. But I wanted to show you guys that.
Yeah.
I cannot with these people.
Crafty.
Hey.
And I couldn't see him in the dark. And I was like, I just wanted to be by the person. Such an uncomfortable environment. I know, right? I'm like, I feel like here for like new, like,
So I showed you guys the tub space. Now I want to show you a little bit more of the lower campus before. I think it's getting pretty dark inside, but I want to show you guys a little bit more of the lower campus before you guys start investigating things. So yeah, I want you guys to follow me out.
Okay, road trip again.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Just like me.
Turn off like that. That lasted wrong, didn't it?
Tess is gonna kill Bart.
Huh?
I said Tess is gonna kill Bart.
Why?
The look you had on your face.
Like, aren't already, like, is that mine?
It's the line of lights, guys. Remember, that's lighting up part of it. That's only half of this campus.
Wow.
They're opening a closed off area for us.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys, how well you guys can see that. Yes. Oh, got the. So behind me. Yep, this tree here. I've been new back, so that's why.
What are you laughing about? Me? Oh, you're watching it? Is it dark?
Oh, on that responsibility.
Sorry, my flashlight ain't on me.
She actually works at the same
Okay.
Oh, what was the prison? Miami Correctional in Bunker Hill, Indiana. Gotcha.
I work there now.
So it is crazy. So yeah, I definitely know it's like. No, I'm saying you're dealing with a crowd that like is very hostile. Yes. Those people are not having good days.
What?
Kind of gives you like.
Not happy to see.
Oh,
Even I was at a place called Pathfinder. Yeah, for mentally disabled people.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So, and you come real close to those people, you know.
Dude, they're amazing people.
They are.
They are.
And,
Dude, they're yeah.
So yes, somebody's got a drone going on. It looks like maybe
Oh.
up to the left.
Oh, I see. Oh, there's the drone. Are you guys flying a drone tonight?
no.
Could just be a plane. You think, oh, yeah, it could be.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's pretty
You're right, Noah. My bad.
Listen,
Listen,
get it together.
I'm allowed to be wrong once.
Behind me right
It
here,
was the
this is the
CIA.
front entrance
It was Joe
to
Biden.
the dietary building here at Pennhurst. Now, we had two separate campuses here. We had the lower campus and then we had the upper campus. Women lived on the upper campus, and that's all the way across the hill. And
You can't
here
even
at the
see
lower
that area
campus
from
is
here.
where all the boys and all the men lived here at Pennhurst. And the reason why was because of our eugenics movement. We wanted to keep them separate. In fact, the superintendent here was so fearful of men and women getting together, he would quote them as potential criminals. And he would quote the works of the American leading eugenicists at the time to build our separate campuses, to keep them entirely separate. And for this building here, it used to have two wards. It used to have a men's dining ward and then also a women's dining ward. And the reason being, eugenics once again. And one thing that I always try to compare to is, the Holocaust compared to our eugenics movement here in the United States. And one thing that's also important to point out is that we used to have a railroad that ran through Pennhurst. It used to be right in front of the maintenance facility, which is the building with the 3 spotlights.
Okay.
And it used to go up the hill straight through Pennhurst. We had to stop right here at the institution. And a former Pennhurst aide told me a story once that there was a person admitted here through the railroad. Their parent was so desperate to get them here at the institution because at one point we had a waiting list of over 1,000 people.
Wow.
So the parent gave them a nameplate, the child's name, stop at Pennhurst. And then from there, forcibly admitted into the institution. And to
Wow.
think of our similarities between concentration camps and institutions. So let's ask, how did they separate the people at Auschwitz? Well, it was by men camps and women camps.
Right.
That way they weren't mingling.
It was also by race.
Exactly, and by race as well. Hitler also targeted people of color. He also targeted disabled people too. He liked what was happening in our American institutions. And how did those prisoners at concentration camps make their way there? With a train.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then we also talked about earlier with experimentation, the question that you brought up, and what happened to these vulnerable people because they no longer had consent and rights for themselves. They were experimented on. And those are like the big 3 similarities that I've found with our American institutions and then what was happening internationally. And the crazy fact is that Adolf Hitler, in the 1930s, before even starting his Nazi reign, took inspiration from our American institutions. Yes. There was a professor at the University of Minnesota doing work at in the Midwest developing American institutions, and he actually invited him to come overseas and talk eugenics because Hitler believed in what was happening with our feeble-mindedness eugenics movement. He thought that these individuals were heavily inferior, that these individuals should no longer belong in the gene pool, knowing how exactly, because he believed in white supremacy. He believed in supremacy of his people.
Can I ask a follow-up question to the experiment? Did they, like when they did experiment on these individuals, did they come up with anything that, like, and I don't mean to sound insensitive, but that would have helped
I mean, our
the
vaccines.
medical.
I mean, our vaccines were like the polio vaccine was like one of the biggest things that we
Right.
developed in the medical field.
Right.
Of course, there was huge benefits, but it's
I
like
know
at
we're
what
treating
cost?
vaccines
Yeah,
anymore, but-
exactly.
You used people that were
Exactly. We use vulnerable
mentally
people.
challenged or
Exactly.
had disabilities as human
But I
guinea
mean,
pigs.
did they
Did
do
it.
like any like experiments on their
That's
actual
scary to me.
brains, like to figure out why they were sort of say disabled?
Oh, especially after post-mortem, especially after
Jason's
he
playing with
passed
the light.
away. I mean, there was lots of. I mean, there was even a study. I mean, all the way like over 100 years ago, where they were studying skull sizes. That having a smaller skull and having a smaller brain meant that you were not as intelligent. So a lot of studies were done after these people passed away to see what was going on mentally, and obviously we learned today that's not true. Skull size does not mean your level of intellect, or the shape of your skull does not mean level of intellect.
Like Bear aspirin came out of the Holocaust.
Mhm.
Not that it was justified, but
Yeah.
that did come out of the Holocaust.
Yeah, and
the amount of time for a baby to starve once it's born came out
Yeah.
of the Holocaust. Babies would be born to mothers, and they would lay them on their chest and wait until they died.
The first eye transplant was also the Holocaust.
horrific.
And like,
Cause I know at Louise, they actually did, like had the first dialysis machine.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know, so I was just wondering if like
Yeah.
stuff like
There,
that.
so there
'cause
was
that's a positive
there
thing
was
that helps
positive
people
things. I mean, like
live
the
longer.
reason why our special education, world or classrooms, our nursing, or even our nursing field has improved is because what happened here. I mean, you're standing on one of the biggest human rights movements in world history.
Yeah, that's
It's in
okay.
United
So
States.
that's what I want to know. Was there
So
anything
there was,
positive that came out
but
of
then the question is,
horrific-
at what cost?
Exactly.
Was it worth it that we had people suffer
It's never
because
worth
of
it.
it?
Never
Exactly.
worth it. But
But exactly, but yeah, we can say there was positive things, but it came at the cost of the people that
Came
lived
at
here.
some very negative.
Well,
Exactly.
I'm kind of curious about
Yeah.
something. When they were finally admitted in, let's say when the patient was finally admitted in, were the families told there was no visitation at all? Were
So
they encouraged
parents
to
were
visit?
informed that they weren't allowed to visit until 30 days of a Pennhurst inmate living here. And then once that passed, they were only allowed to visit from Thursday to Sunday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And that parent visitation, funnily enough, would take place in the Limerick building, right over across.
Okay.
And where the building extends outwards to the right, that is where the parent visitation room used to be. Now, if you had a loved one that lived here, you weren't going to see them inside the board they lived inside. You would see them in the parent visitation. We had a reasoning because of one, HIPAA. We got to protect the privacy of the other people living here, and also the idea of not create animosity because not a lot of people were visited. It was very common. We had this kind of idea that had to have somebody with a disability in your family is similar to having especially where people were very religious. A lot of people feel like their families had sinned. Because of their sin, you were now given a quote unquote defective child. And it's so terrible that we used to look at human beings as being effective or defective. It's kind of like an industrial revolution way of looking at people that you have value by being productive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not true. I mean, all of us here offer something unique and amazing to the world. It doesn't matter what limitations are placed upon us. But that was kind of our standards of looking at human beings.
And was that building not representative of the conditions within the other
It
buildings?
was carpeted. It was a carpeted room.
I assumed.
The reason why I was able to find out that I was a visitation center was because it had carpet. And it was so unsettling to me because nowhere here has carpeting.
Yeah.
Because when we think about it, it's completely inconducive to patient life here. Like most of us never got potty trained, and so it's very important that we're able to clean up messes very quickly. And so all of our furniture is rubber, easy to clean. All the floors are cement, easy to clean. Constantly. Now in there, it was carpet. And I'm like, what the hell?
why
Why
would it be
is there
carpet?
carpet in here?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no way to live in here. And it's the first floor. It would make sense. They needed all the first floor that they needed because we had 50% of us couldn't walk. And so we couldn't live up on the second floor. I'm like, why didn't they use this space? I also look around in this space and it's still so colorful. They have a recreation board up on the wall that has all the activities and everything. The walls are painted way more colorfully than any of the other buildings. It's still in remarkably better condition. They had a little dining area in there. They had a commissary in there. Our barber shop was in there. All of these beautiful little amenities are a friggin' amazing factory workshop in the basement that was used as kind of a demonstration. Hey, this is what your friends are doing, learning how to do these skills.
Yeah.
All of it was so
it's like so it's more like a
So some of the investigators just heard a scream back behind us and something was thrown.
So that they wouldn't draw attention to themselves.
so much peace.
Wow, that'd be cool.
And there's nobody back there, guys. We're all right here in a group.
Nice, and you don't get to see what's actually
Again,
happening.
thanks everybody for coming in and joining us with Chrissy.
the way you're talking reminds me of nursing homes.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's
Especially-
very similar.
Especially like the nursing homes that are more
Brian,
poverty
did you hear that?
stricken.
And it's the same
areas.
kind of infrastructural problems and the idea that we
Anybody-
have overcrowding. We
Right.
have
Anybody else hear
ignorance
that?
in our care. We have a lack of empathy. We're not paying our workers enough to care.
Right.
And there's not enough workers.
Because like, I know where I live, every little corner is now a
Okay.
senior living.
Yeah.
Here, hold this. Scotty's got to take over for me.
Some people, we can't, take care of our loved ones because we have to work full time to
Yep.
pay our own bills. And we can't afford,
Hi, Scotty.
anymore at home. But
How you guys doing?
I've been in
Good.
those nursing
Hi.
homes in the
Doing
poverty-
I love
good.
you all.
Good.
Yeah, you did. Thanks for doing this, you guys. This is really, really cool. Very
It
educational.
is. Yep.
I look sexy as hell. What's up?
What do you have on you?
No, not yet. It hasn't got dark enough.
Then you haven't drank enough.
I don't drink, but I guess I better start, huh?
Have him stop by my car. I got something that might help him.
We got a shit ton of rocks. Your existence here was determined by this kind of invisible boundary that they distinguished.
I'm not giving this
It was
away.
called you're literally hopeless, or you're working.
What's up, David?
And so it's okay.
I hope everybody's good.
I can go to work. I can go to classes. They have faith that I can learn more skills. But after you're like 16 and you're not showing those skills, they give up on you. You're deemed hopeless. And so for the majority of the people here, it was 7% of the population that ever saw any of those classes, that ever saw any of that training. And so the amount that actually got to take part in that was so little, it was almost insignificant. Because if you didn't catch up in time, you were deemed hopeless.
And
it's very distressing.
yeah, and like those that were capable of working were almost worked to death. I mean, we have records showing that people passed away from heat exhaustion inside of on the farms. And like and what Autumn said, like Pennhurst inmates taking care of other Pennhurst inmates. Like to try to conceptualize that for a second, why is that happening? That other inmates are forced to take care of other inmates.
Yeah.
It's necessary. Yeah, they had to get all the help they could get. Again, I'm dealing with 100 patients on my ward, and I'm one person, and they're all trying to help out.
Because I have a lot of friends who are in special education. Oh yeah. Because I was a preschool teacher, so I get it, and I mean, it's not an easy. No. It takes a special individual to work with individuals that. I mean, I have nephews, or they passed away, but I had nephews that were fully disabled. Their life expectancy was 3 years old, but they lived to 22. So I get it, but it's really
not a job you can just look at.
No, it is
it has to be one where you actually care about. Yes, and there were people who did care.
Absolutely. And we try not to push down on the employees because you get in
occasionally, yes.
The individuals that care for them enough.
Yes, absolutely.
Hello. Hello, Moto.
A lot of spirit box.
A lot of the times, it's so funny you say that because most of the time when we're doing spirit boxes, it's almost like we're
I ain't gonna lie.
conversation.
I gotta pee.
We're just listening to them too.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Right. And a lot of times
You too? Yeah, but it's gonna be hard to find mine. It's cold out.
Hey, Scotty, David Hope has a question for you. Did you shave your legs for this event?
I did not, but for y'all to know, I did get a hold of Matt Barron as soon as he got here today.
You shit about me?
Scotty, I left my G-string in your hotel room.
So did you?
What?
Did you? You got a hold of Matt? Okay, I
typically
we're on Hey Boo. No need to go
Matt got a hold
further
of
than
you.
that.
Matt got a hold of you.
What was that?
Matt got a hold of Scotty. Scotty came running at me. I picked his ass up.
And I humped the hell out of him.
Oh God! You know what? Pictures or video or it didn't happen. Remake
I think
it.
Chrissy had. I think Chrissy took a video.
Chrissy did take a video, as a matter of fact. So it did
That'd be
happen.
funny.
Well, we
You
gotta
almost got
see
in the
it.
trunk.
And no, I did not shave my legs, but I don't know if y'all can see that. I got my neon green. Got my neon green socks on.
Scotty!
No way.
Howard! Okay, I'll put you back onto these guys because I'm boring, you know.
I know that's all like Philadelphia's where the
Absolutely. Most are named after places in Pennsylvania or their use. Industry, dietary, laundry, for example, maintenance. Otherwise, Philadelphia, Hershey, Rockwell, all those Devon places in Pennsylvania. There's some that are extraneous, like I haven't yet found a place in Pennsylvania called Mayflower.
Yeah.
However, we can kind of get it's a constitutional name.
Yeah.
The Commonwealth.
It's the ship. Yep.
The Quakers.
Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
or, you know, exactly.
Yeah, it represents America. But
initially they were all called by the first letter of their name. You'll hear us refer to it all the time as like M1,
Q,
M2, M3,
yeah.
Q1, Q2. It's a very quick way of doing units. And so that's how they refer to them for most of history.
Yep. But I want to show you guys another stop. Let's go take a look at the hospital while we still have some time, guys.
off to the hospital.
Yay.
Hey, so Chrissy is currently helping somebody who's got kind of emotional. So, which is good. That's why she's here, being how she is. So, so that's why you guys are stuck with me right now.
That's okay. You're doing good.
But if you guys get a chance, please get here. The staff here is absolutely amazing and so full of information. I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is. I'm trying not to listen too much to what they say, not in a disrespectful way, but to go in as a new experience, to feel the emotion that's going in. So,
Really the help from you guys.
are you guys still there?
Whenever people's
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're here.
reviews
Okay.
on Google where they voice their
Damn, I
opinions
am
about
cute.
space, the owners
Damn.
notice because they want to create
Wow.
a
So he's
product
cute.
that people want to see. And if you guys
I'm
look
hot
like
as hell.
that, I would love
Dude,
to see this.
I'm cute.
I can't come here without seeing this place.
How is
Yeah.
it?
Say what?
And like that literally means the most to us that you go inside that space tonight, you appreciate the history and you vocalize your opinions on that. Like that's everything to us. Because in my opinion, it's one of the deepest historic buildings that we have on campus.
Oh, I agree. This is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Thanks. I work out.
You know, with some exceptions.
I work out.
But no, you guys
Yeah.
heard it.
Oh
Yeah, there you go. So I'm
Right, loves. Back to Chrissy.
Sorry, guys.
Hey. Hey.
Had to help somebody.
That's okay.
Flipping it
Is
around.
she like
Huh?
a medium or something? Is she like a medium or something and felt something and got upset or something?
It was just somebody who became very overwhelmed in emotion. It's pretty thick here.
Yeah, that's why, because it's so thick.
I'm turning the camera back around so you guys can see this other path.
Okay.
Hey, Lisa, just so you know, the gloves are in the container sector. You were reading my mind? My feet are really warm. My hands, my ears, my face are like ice right now. My legs are cold. This is warm.
And remember, this is only half the campus.
Yes.
There's another whole side.
So y'all just doing a tour before y'all go investigate?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This should be the last.
this is the tour.
Well, it's good to know the background of it. I mean,
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
they're doing it real good.
They are. They're phenomenal. The staff here is
Yes.
great.
You're basically getting you a tour of Pinhurst.
Yep, you are. If you're tuning in, you seeing Penhurst live.
Yes.
And you're seeing sections that not everybody gets to see.
Yep.
Sorry, dear. They do an event at Halloween. You know, it's expensive to keep up these buildings. Got to make the money.
Huh?
Well, they don't, I mean, it's so hard to get in. One understand.
No, I think that's amazing, and I think what you guys are doing that's really awesome stuff. Because I mean, I know we're considered one of the biggest. We get a lot of help, but there's a lot of places that do need help, in terms of exposure.
Yeah, anything we can do. We're happy.
So as our friends in the back are catching up, directly behind me here, this is a piece of the hospital building. The hospital is split up into three sections. We have Whitman, Wilson, and then the infirmary, which we'll see later tonight as we drive up there. Amazing history to the infirmary. In fact, the infirmary used to be a tuberculosis hospital. It was opened up in it was opened in 1949 to quarantine people with tuberculosis. And then after that, it became our infirmary that housed a lot of the residents here that had long-term illnesses or were terminally ill as well. And I think the most significant thing about the history is that it had our most famous case that involved a patient here at Penhurst, and his name was Nicholas Romeo. And Nick Romeo, to kind of give some backstory on this guy who lived in the infirmary, Nick Romeo was a man who had an IQ of 7. He loved his father greatly. His father was like this huge inspiration on his life. His father dies at a very pivotal point in his life, and Nick couldn't even really conceptualize that his father passed on. At the open casket, he was trying to wake up his father, and then with his case, his mother was incapable of taking care of him. In fact, Nick Romeo was found chained to a radiator before coming to Penhurst, and then he comes to Penhurst and lives inside of the infirmary. And Nick Romeo was taught how to box from his dad. And Nick Romeo was constantly searching for his father here at Penhurst. And he would hit people, and not really with mean intentions. In fact, when he would hit people, he would smile, and then he would do a stem where he would bite his wrist, acting like it was playful. It was a very playful thing for him. Didn't know he was hurting people. Yeah. And Nick Romeo would have to be restrained because of this. In a 30-day month, Nick Romeo was restrained for a total of 18 days, 6 hours minimum per day.
In your bed or?
To a chair inside the infirmary, and caused a huge lawsuit that changed the world of how we use restraints in hospitals and nursing environments, anything like Penhurst that's against the person's will, where they can no longer use it for extended periods of time.
Even corrections is that way. They have the same.
Exactly. And it's called the least restrictive environment clause. And that came because of Nick Romeo. He changed the world. And that happened inside the infirmary.
I couldn't even imagine like what kind of sores he had on his body.
Oh, I mean,
he
and the mental struggle.
And feces.
Not even that. But Nick Romeo was hit with a toilet scrub, and what kind of really broke the camel's back was that they found an imprint of a toilet scrub on his back, because he was hit constantly by the staff members. And to think of a light toilet scrub, you'd have to do a lot to leave an imprint to a toilet scrub.
No, you don't. Not the ones we use in the institution. I told the boss to be about this long. It's made out of some hard plastic. Back in the day, you would have had hard wooden ones, and I could have mollywopped you with. I could knock you out, messed you over with that boss. I didn't know.
Yeah, but I say that because there was over 30 lacerations found. It was over 30 hit on his back. Yeah, but definitely, yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff that was used here to restrain, it's like right on what you said. It's like metal. You know what I mean? It's like metal. It's hardwood.
I was in prison. They would take the toilet brush. They'd bring it in. They'd have to clean with it. And as soon as they was done with it, that and that mop bucket got to come up out of there.
So I want to take us up to our next stop. Do you guys have any questions before we go up there? I'm going to start taking us towards the administration building.
Well, I know you had to run up to the men's room. The girl took him up to the men's room.
Okay. Well, then I'll radio her and she'll know where to catch up with us.
But just letting you know, you got 2 of them that had to go that way.
We're on walkabout again. Are you guys hearing all this?
Yes.
Look, we can go under the rope.
They're all. Yeah, they went through there. She just walked them through.
We're going to go under the rope. We're going to play the hokey pokey.
Okay.
Limbo.
If I hit the ground, send help.
Will do.
I didn't have to duck.
I survived the rope at
All right. I want to see Bart try to limbo underneath that. That ought to be hysterical.
All right. I guess they'll be catching up. They have our other guy with them.
Now he really has to limbo under.
Yeah,
here we go.
That's his responsibility.
Or you can hurdle it. You're on your side, Mr. Bart.
No.
Whenever we were talking
He
about,
can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Please don't ever ask him to hurdle.
whenever we were talking about parent visitation, one thing that we need to understand is that parent visitation was also a thing of systematic abuse. We had stories. For example, one of our former Penhurst inmates, Roland Johnson, who later on became, who later would become one of the biggest disabled rights activists, would talk about how he was wanting to tell his mother what was happening to him here at Penhurst. Mind you, Roland Johnson is a man of color, and he grew up during segregation here at Penhurst.
where he was picked on racially by staff members and also by other inmates. And Roland Johnson would tell his mother what was happening to him, that he's being bullied and that he wants to go home. And the mother would tell the other staff members here, and it got to a point where the staff members would tell Roland, now if you complain one more time, I'm going to write your name on this green slip of paper and send you to a punishment ward. And a punishment ward would mean for a person like Roland to be sent to the second floor of industry, where he would have to clean up poop piles, and he would have to clean up pee, and he would have to work for hours and hours just because he was trying to get his voice out to his own mother, what was happening to him. So even with parent visitation, whenever parents did come and some people tried to talk about what was happening, the state themselves still stomped on their voices and didn't even let them voice their opinion of living here.
What building is it that I see the red light in?
That's Mayside.
Okay.
That's our home base.
So look for the window with red in it if you need to get on.
I think everybody's tubs are going to be running when we get home tonight. All of us are going to be in that up to salt.
Definitely a lot of walking.
Like I said.
Yeah.
Howard.
Hi, Howard.
Howard's on my show now.
Jason, when you wake up in the
That's
morning,
him.
call me so you can wake me up. I'm going to be in the tub with the water running all night once I get there.
Oh,
I'll
jeez.
just sleep in the tub with Epsom salt water and hot water.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
Oh, I am. I did it last night for 2 hours. I fell asleep in the tub. The water was still running when I woke up.
Man, the
It's still
water,
nice and hot.
water ain't hot enough to hook up.
Yeah, it is. If you go, at least ours is. It's blistering. It is.
Sand River had great. It's good.
I had every one of the mirrors and everything else steamed and just rolling down last night. I probably got out of the tub.
Here's a kitty.
I think we're almost back to the original Spotify over there.
We are.
Oh, no.
This is a long walk.
Yes, it looks like
Yeah, I
it.
thought I was the only one thinking.
Yeah, actually here. Yep. There'll be products right here. We'll, there's, okay. Yeah, you guys can use the bathroom.
Potty break.
Yes.
I love you all, but you can come with me to the bathroom. You gotta pay extra for that.
I just figured I want to show you guys in front of admin while we can for tonight. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus, take the wheel.
That's one of the only times you see this.
Listen, I'm going to set y'all down. Give me 45 seconds. These are porta potties. If I don't come back, phone in help.
Okay. All right.
Well, supply and demand, man. That's all there is to it right now. I mean, I don't blame you, but it's, yeah, it's like, I don't really want to touch it. Yeah. I don't blame you. Yeah. I don't blame you. You know, you're all stuck with that right there.
And there's no lights in the pieces.
Take your phone with you.
Yeah, and then I drop it in the toilet.
I'm not fishing. Yeah. You just get in the phone. Like, I'm not even getting that.
Okay, listen. I survived the porta potty at Pennhurst, and so did Matt.
That's the only time this consultant's running.
Whew.
Know what I'm saying?
How is it?
All right, y'all. This phone is on 20%. So I'm going to probably end this here because there's no power in this building. I'm going to have to charge this phone in my car with the key in it.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
But thanks
for
everybody
sharing.
for tuning in. We appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour.
Thank
I
you,
did.
Chrissy.
Thank
Bye,
you.
It
ladies.
was
Bye.
bye. Have fun. Welcome
So,
back, everybody.
yes, welcome back. So that was like an interesting history of
That
some
was
of the beginning of it. They said at one
Jamie.
point where they heard a scream and something was thrown at one point.
Yeah, a scream, and they were all together. So that's really cool. I like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's actually another place I would like to go to eventually someday and stuff. So, but that's really cool. Hey, Nerd Witch. Hey, Terry. Welcome everybody who's just showing up. So that was Chrissy, one of our other beautiful ladies on Hey Boo. Her and Matt and quite a few others are at Penhurst right now. Get ready to do a very fun and wonderful investigation. Like, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
that's so cool. And she came up, and so we didn't have to pay for the tour. We got in for free.
Yes,
Don't
we
tell
did.
nobody.
Yeah, no. And we saw some places that most people wouldn't even see. And we went into we went into one place, went through a little bit where they had cages on the by the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting.
Hi, Donna. Welcome everybody coming in. Yeah, I can't wait to see their video and stuff like that.
Yes.
I know some of them are still live, but they're also going to do a video that will be for the global ghost hunt, I believe, or are they doing the live for the global ghost hunt?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so, yes.
So, yeah.
Aired when did I can't talk. When is the Global Ghost Hunt start? Like in May, right?
Mm-hmm. May and October is the second one.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
I know sometime in October. I don't know
Hi,
when.
Ty-Gas. Welcome, everybody. Seeing a lot of familiar faces in here tonight. Jay, are you done with the live stream? Are you giving us a JMac raid? If so, that would be pretty cool.
Everybody, don't forget that October 27th, 28th, and 29th, not 9th, is Fear Fest in New Orleans. Tickets will be on sale. So go purchase your tickets before they run out.
Through
At the
Ticketmaster,
Puncher
right?
Train. No, through
Eventbrite?
yeah.
Okay. Are they on sale right now or not quite yet?
Howard? Not yet, but it should be
Okay.
like sometime in the next couple of days.
And you all will be the first to know because we will spam it out everywhere. Well, no, Howard would be the first to know.
Yes. Howard will be on here doing probably a podcast about it.
And we'll definitely
spam
it out.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So I hope everybody comes and buys a ticket and comes to New Orleans to the Kenner Pontchartrain Center and come to Fear Fest. It's gonna be exciting. You coming, right, Amy?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the plan. I'm trying to get my husband to come too. So
he needs to come. He needs to come.
Even just for the weekend, like I told him, I'm like, just fly in for the weekend and stuff. And because so many people want to meet him too. And he's never really gone on an investigation like this. Because, for one, we got animals like you guys do too. So you guys understand about the traveling and stuff, and kind of makes it hard if you both want to travel.
Yes.
And then, I got babies to take care of. But yeah, if you flew in for overnight, honey, that would be okay. and he's also, pretty much a skeptic for the most part. And I think something like this, because he's never like been touched. He has seen things before, but you can't really take that in consideration, like physically being touched or anything like that. That's like you're like, oh my God. Emmy, did you watch that video I sent to J-Mac? No, I didn't. He didn't show me. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, I think he would have a lot of fun and would be, something big for him to actually experience like that. I mean, he's from Boston, so he's been to Salem, Mass, and everything, but his younger years, and so I don't think he was able to take an appreciation of the paranormal and stuff. I don't want to be swarmed by middle-aged YouTube women wanting. My God. Oh shit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you went through Boston today, Pam? How was that? My husband. Yeah, okay. So they're gonna wait in line while you and old Howard there starts walking the red carpet, huh? J-Mac, I got this one. You go sign that one. We'll just rotate back and forth between the autographs.
Yeah.
Busy, yeah. I can only imagine. I mean, Jay's actually lived in Oregon a lot longer than he has lived in Boston. So he was a Bostonian. He went from Bostonian to an Oregonian.
Wow.
Traveled to Maine. Now I'm frozen. Oh no. Sorry to hear that, Pam. See, and Pam would be the person, if I need bail money, she's going to bail me out. She'd be the one. So I already got my person set. No, joke. 100 glossy 8x10s, $9 each. Oh my God. And a Sharpie. Well, the way you're sounding, you might as well bring 2 Sharpies. Like, here, you want to borrow my Sharpie?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
jeez. But no, tonight was really, I really enjoyed that. I mean, because we were going to.
I hope she takes some pictures so she can put it on for next week. Hopefully she'll be back. I was said.
Still think J-Max is one of those Duck Dynasty guys. And don't they live not too far from that area, right?
Yes. Woo shirts. I want a wee woo shirt. You have to bring some.
I know, right? Yes, honey, the wee woo shoes. We should order some. I'll take them with us. And I'll sign them. Let's see if you'll catch on to that. I got damn dog hair. I've been up my nose all day. Like, with Siberian Huskies, they got the 2 coats. And right now it's spring. And that dog is just like shedding like crazy. So every time I turn around, my nose is itching. I'm waiting for the warm weather to wear my wee woo shirt again. Awesome. Gas or trash?
So, like, where you live, is it cold?
Not to me, it's not, but let me see. Like, to Jay, he's cold. He's cold all the time. I don't know why. But to me, this weather right now is perfect. But the temperature right now would be. Damn it, I ate my thing too fast. See, right now it's 47 degrees. And it feels good to me outside.
What? Well, I think it's like 80 degrees here, right, Howard?
Now, see, that's too hot for me. I would be dying. I like the colder weather, just because I have a lot of health issues, autoimmune.
Howard says perfect weather if you don't have no cops behind you.
Oh, I almost forgot. Yeah, we know where I was going with that one. Whatever, Howard. Yeah, okay. Ugh. It was 68 when she left Connecticut, dropped to 30 degrees here in Maine. And see, with like I was going to say, with my health issues, it's like my temperature gauge, internal temperature gauge, doesn't really work. So I can be wearing shorts and a tank top right now outside, be perfectly fine. Now, if I'm in, like 70-degree weather, that would be really too hot for me. So it's easier for me to actually start from cold, and I can warm up by, putting something warmer on. But once I'm hot, oh my God. With the RA, this is miserable. See, and everybody's different like that because I got the rheumatoid too. And so it's just easier for me to, warm up, put on a sweatshirt or something than to, try to cool down. It's when I was going to Florida there, like summer times and stuff, I was dying. I'm always cold as well. So love the heat. I thought it was odd always being cold. No, Jay's cold too. And I think the older you get, he's just been, I mean, he's a man. We got to forgive him. Men are big crybabies. There's a lot of men out there. I'm all playing with you. But I did, when I first got diagnosed with like my rheumatoid, I'm sorry, with my fibromyalgia, I would layer up because I would.
How said men are crybabies, yes, but at least we turn our mics off when we go to the bathroom.
Everybody turn away. Oh, whatever, Howard. I went pee. Yeah, that was the craziest thing too, because it's like I'm like, whoa, what are you guys all talking about? I'm all smiling. Something was said, and then I like grabbed my neck. I'm like, my mic was on. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I started with a tank top, looked like an Eskimo by the time I arrived. Oh, yeah, probably your autoimmune. Yes, Tigers. Definitely.
I hope they have fun tonight doing Pinhurst. It looks like
if they don't have fun, we'll have to kick their butt. Like, come on, people. That would be that place is so huge and so much history. That's why I asked her, I'm like, how does it feel that basically the air and stuff? I can only imagine. Like,
well, she said that's why one person got upset because she said that the air there is so thick.
You really? I must have missed that.
Yeah, because I think somebody got really emotional and Chrissy had to go talk to him. That's why Scotty was on. And when she came back,
I thought she had to go to the bathroom. I got it. Okay.
I asked her, I said, the person that got upset, is she a medium or something? I mean, could she feel something? And she said, Jackie, it's just so thick here that the air is so thick here that it's just unreal.
Whatever, Jay. Oh, yeah, that was the thing. I was seeing that. I was seeing him go. Everybody's like, LOL, LOL. Jay was like, no. Followed by this.
When was this on? On Unholy Trinity?
The Petri dish?
Petri
No, it was before. It was just before the Petri dish. I actually was on a live stream, my own live stream. So I will send you the link, and I will tell you where to start watching it at, or I'll actually send you that part. Yeah, and I was driving out, and I've been in the car for an hour. I'm like, man, I gotta go to the bathroom, and I'm driving by this like Circle K or something. I'm like, you know what? I gotta go to the bathroom now. So I pulled in, and I had to get out to go because the bathrooms are outside. So I had to go in and ask for the key. And so that sound like I left everything in the car. except for the stupid mic, because that was like the second time I'd ever wore that. And they heard me asking the lady, if I could, whatever. They heard me asking her for, to use the bathroom, and they heard me go into the bathroom. And then the other embarrassing thing, because they didn't have a sink in there to wash your hands. So, like porta potties, they have that waterless hand soap and stuff. That's what they had in there. And you hear everybody going, or you see everybody going, she didn't wash her hands. I'm like, no, I did wash my hands. It was waterless or waterless soap. And with a hot mic, I did. I was going to show you guys. It's just an itty bitty mic. So this is how easy it is to forget it's on you. Like, is this it right here? Where'd it go?
What?
Right here. Okay,
what?
So here's the mic.
What? Clock? Clock? Like something falling. Clock. Howard said he has one word for you. Clock.
No, shut up, Howard. Okay, so this is part of it. So this little piece right here goes to the phone, right? So you have this in the bottom of your phone.
Yeah.
But then this is the mic. So I had it like on. I was wearing a sweatshirt. So the whoopsie. Okay, so I had it on, the strings of your sweatshirt. So I mean, it's lightweight. You can't feel it. So it's on the strings of my sweatshirt. And I just totally forgot. And yeah, the bathrooms at gas stations are very echoey and hollow. But when I got back in the car and sat down, they started talking. I just went to grab my string. That's when I was like, no. I looked down at it, and there it was. And it's tiny, so you don't feel it. Like, oh my God. And then it was the same day. So, oh my God, I had a bad day. So not only was it the bathroom incident, when I was driving back home, I'm on the Petri dish. Actually, the Petri dish was starting, like just the intro was starting. And I see sex lights, cop lights coming at me. I'm just like, no. And so the intro maybe just started like within like maybe 10 seconds. And as soon as I pulled over, before the cop even saw, I had two phones, connected, because the one I was going to read chat and the other one I was on the camera. As soon as I was able to pull over, I went, whoop, knocked both of those phones onto the floor. So Howard, and then I forgot I had the mic on too. But for whatever reason, God was looking out after me. When I knocked both the phones down, it knocked the mic off and stuff, so they couldn't hear anything that was being said. And I got off lucky on that. But yeah, so
what were you doing? Speeding?
No, I have expired tags on my truck. Just stupid expired tags, because I'm a procrastinator. And they've been expired a year and a half. And so yeah, and then the cop walked away, and I hear Howard and them talking, and the show's already started. So I picked it up, kind of the phone up, and I'm looking at it, and they're just like, he's like, what's going on? I'm like holding my finger up, like, just one moment. And he's still looking at me, and I don't know if he saw it, but I picked the phone up and I aimed it just right to look at the cop lights behind me, and set the phone back down. I was like, I'll just tell you later. So yeah. Swears it was pee. It was pee, baby. It was. So yeah, so that was a bad night, just all around. Wow, people.
That's funny. That is funny. Oh, wait a minute.
Didn't think that would ever happen.
Well, again, don't forget about Fear Fest, everybody. It's October 27th, 28th, and 29th.
I'll double check the
Tickets will
thing.
be
Let me
on
double
sale
check.
very, very soon.
March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's the weekend before Halloween. So yeah, yep.
It's gonna
26th,
sell out
27th, 29th.
fast.
So basically 27th to the 29th. Halloween will be on that Tuesday. What better place to go to? There will be a live vampire.
Yes.
A voodoo ceremony, I believe he was saying.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of people are coming from all around to have booths. And if you want a booth, get a hold of Howard or Chrissy, and they'll give you the details on, because there's some booths that have electricity, some booths that don't. There are some corner booths. So because certain ones, each price is going to be different.
Yes.
And with it being in New Orleans, especially the weekend before Halloween, that's
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's going to be a pretty busy place too, from what I'm hearing.
So it's always busy for Halloween.
Yeah. So yeah.
So seeing that we've been on here for 2 hours, I guess it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's crazy. It's been that long, but you know what? When you're really into something and listening to history, that's really cool. That
that girl and that guy that was talking about the history of it. Oh my God, they were awesome. They're good.
Yeah.
I mean, they were saying some real good stuff about that place. So I can't wait for her to have pictures or anything else.
And Jay's right. Good streams do flow fast, and I
wish I could do listen to all of the history of it. Now I'm more curious about it. Maybe Chrissy might be on later to do some more, watch some more history of it on hers. I don't know.
Well, I think some of them have are doing a live stream right now.
Yeah, like maybe Matt, Scotty.
Yeah,
Matt. So you might be able to catch. You might be able to catch the rest of the history of it from either Matt or Scotty.
Let me see if I can drop their links. If anybody else is interested in, watching them, let me pull this up. We got, let's see, Scotty. Scotty wasn't live. Matt was, right?
Both. Well, Scotty was live for a little while, and I think Matt was live.
Okay. Right. We got a few minutes to make it an even 2 hours. I got 4 minutes to come up with this stuff. Hold on. Okay. Close. Why are you barking? Stop. You scared me. Let me see who's live over here. Lily, stop.
Bye-bye.
I'm not finding them. Well, you guys, you know what? I'll find them and I'll post them on my community tab. And then that way you guys can go back and follow them on their Facebook and stuff. So why don't we do that? Because I'm not going to find them in the next 3 minutes.
Nope.
Yeah.
So thanks, Chrissy, for coming on and sharing that with us tonight. And thank all y'all for coming in and asking questions and everything. See y'all next week on Hey Boo. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great week.